Hello dear students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. DC Saxena, Professor and Head of the Department of Food Engineering and Technology at Sant Longowal Institute of Engineering and Technology, Longowal. I present here with the paper Technology of Meat, Poultry, Fish and Seafood Products, wherein the module of stunning and slaughtering of poultry will be explained to you by my co-author Ms. Romijan, who is well versed with this topic.
Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Romijan from Sant Longowal Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today I am going to talk about Module 17, Stunning and Slaughtering of Poultry of paper number 8, Technology of Meat, Poultry, Fish and Seafood Products. In this module, we will learn about stunning and slaughtering of poultry. Poultry is a major source of consumable animal protein. For example, per capita consumption of poultry in the United States has more than quadrupled since the end of the World War II. As the industry developed a highly efficient production system, chickens and turkeys are the most common sources of poultry. However, other commercially available poultry meats come from ducks, geese, pigeons, quails, pheasants, ostriches and emus. The stunning and slaughter process is a very important step in the processing of poultry and should be carefully controlled. Most processing plants in this country are operated by companies that endorse the National Chicken Council Animal Welfare Guidelines, which state that stunning and killing equipment should be constantly monitored to ensure proper functioning for humane processing. The contents of this module that we will go through includes the following: stunning methods, slaughtering methods. The aim of the animal welfare approved slaughter standards is to ensure that poultry are killed quickly, painlessly and without any suffering. In order to make death defined as the cessation of the vital functions as stress-free and painless as possible, the slaughter process must ensure that death is achieved either instantaneously or after the bird has first been rendered unconscious by another means such as stunning. The lack of struggle and apparent calmness of the bird are often cited as reasons why throat cutting without pre-stunning is a welfare-friendly or pain-free method of slaughter. However, research shows that cutting the throat of a bird without prior stunning will significantly affect its ability to show some of the key physical responses which are used to evaluate the extent of pain. Effective stunning will disrupt the neurotransmitters in the brain, causing a state that renders animals unconscious and insensible in less than a second from when the stun is applied, thereby removing the risk that the bird will experience pain and distress during slaughter and subsequent bleeding. Poultry may be stunned by electronecrosis, percussive stunning, captive bolt, or controlled atmosphere gas stunning. Electrical stunning causes insensibility by disrupting the generation and transmission of electrical impulses in the nerve cells, as long as the stunner is correctly placed and the correct current is applied, the stunning electrodes will induce an electrical current of sufficient intensity to disrupt the neurotransmitters in the brain. This disruption renders the bird unconscious. The birds are stunned by their heads passing through an electrically charged water bath with a constant voltage. The required setting of the voltage, the frequency of the electric current, and the length of the water bath depends on the type of birds, which includes broiler, spent hen, turkey, duck, guinea fowl, cull, and intended degree of stunning. Reversible stunning means that the birds may recover after a certain time span. Signs of an effective electrical stun includes neck arched with head held vertically, no rhythmic breathing, rigidly extended legs, constant rapid body tremors, absence of a third eyelid, nictitating membrane, reflex, wings held tightly against body. The application of an electrical current to the head needs to be done with two electrodes that span the brain. If appropriate current flows through the brain, the result will be a state of overstimulation. All neurons are activated at once in an event akin to a grand mal epileptic seizure. The seizure typically runs its course in three states: the tonic ridged phase, where the head is tilted back, the front legs are extended, and the hind legs are either tucked into the body or are also stretched out. The clonic moving phase, which is characterized by quite violent muscular spasms, and these spasms cause the animal's legs to paddle wildly. The recovery or exhaustion phase, during which the animal becomes quiet and starts to breathe regularly again. After a while, the animal becomes visually aware and attempts to regain postural control. Controlled atmospheric stunning, often referred to as carbon dioxide stunning, is well established for broilers and turkeys. However, it does not work with ducks, geese, quails, and guinea fowl, as these birds are too flighty. With controlled atmosphere stunning, shackling can take place in fully illuminated areas and can therefore become part of the more logical management circuit. Hanging of the birds occurs after they have been stunned. In case of multi-phase controlled atmosphere stunning, application of carbon dioxide occurs in two phases, with up to 40% carbon dioxide in phase first for a gentle induction of unconsciousness in combination with an elevated level of oxygen, followed by a higher concentration of carbon dioxide in phase second. The capture bolt used correctly can provide a satisfactory stun instantly, meeting the main objective of stunning, to render the poultry immediately unconscious. To maintain welfare, the unconsciousness must be maintained until death without any recovery. Therefore, capture bolt stunning must either be irreversible or possible recovery must be prevented. The signs of an effective stun or kill includes absence of rhythmic breathing, check for abdominal movement in the vent area, uncontrolled wing flapping, leg flexion and extension, absence of vocalization. Mechanical equipment used for stunning and killing can be classified as penetrating and non-penetrating guns and work by inducing concussion. These devices, referred to as captive bolt guns, used for this purpose, also include use of free bullet and rifles. Captive bolt guns are different from the later two in that they fire blank cartridges and expel housed bolts at high speed that retract back inside the barrel. A correctly executed stun with a penetrating captive bolt gun will cause the immediate loss of sensibility of the poultry. Its ability to perceive pain will cease and will not return because of the extent of the damage done by the bolt. There is no chance of a return to consciousness even if the bleeding is delayed. This may be achieved by a blow to the head using a captive bolt instrument or a weight stick, which is not recommended. The following factors determine the success of captive bolt stunning: provision of a suitable gun with the correct strength in optimum working order, hitting the right target area, variations between species, bolt velocity at least 50 minutes per second, and impact on head, tissue damage, penetration, amount of energy, which is most important determinant, gun type and condition, choice of cartridge, air pressure, carbon deposits built up inside the barrel must be brushed out. Neck dislocation is commonly used for on-farm euthanasia and culling. In an emergency, it may be the quickest option on farm where proper slaughter equipment is not readily available. However, neck dislocation is not an appropriate method for plant slaughter, particularly for larger birds, those over 6.5 pounds in weight. Neck dislocation, either by stretching or crushing, does not cause immediate loss of consciousness for many birds. Neck dislocation by crushing was also shown to be considerably less effective than neck dislocation by stretching. The neck is stretched and then dislocates. At the point of dislocation, the brain of the bird can sometimes retract rapidly into the skull, resulting in a concussion or stunning effect. However, it's not possible to guarantee that neck dislocation will definitely cause this concussion effect or that the concussion is great enough to act as a stun even if a neck dislocation is carried out according to all guidelines. It's also worth noting that the use of tools aimed at aiding the process of neck dislocation, such as ringers or poultry pliers, do not resolve the welfare problems noted above. This is why neck dislocation, however it's carried out, can't be recommended as a routine slaughter method. Poultry industry faces with high demands for the production of safe food so that the contamination of carcasses becomes a health and economic problem more than a technical issue. According to modern concept of veterinary and zoosanitation rules, contaminated carcasses have impact on increased rate of unusable meat in a slaughterhouse. The presence of pathogenic microorganisms on the surface of chicken carcasses is a critical element which decreases the safety of end products. To reduce the risk during the slaughter and evisceration procedures, providing adequate transport conditions for the broiler industries is necessary. They include feed withdrawal before the load, light regimen, shortening the transportation, and welfare of poultry. Slaughter of meat-type birds includes the following, like the live hang, electrical immobilization, neck cutting, bleed-out tunnel, and scalp tank, ruptured blood vessels, gas stunning, and slaughter, carbon dioxide gassing. Out of these, gas stunning is not commercially employed in the United States. In the UK, a 2001 amendment to the 1995 Welfare of Animals Slaughter or Killing regulations permits the voluntary use of nitrogen and other inert gases, particularly argon, mixed with low, preferably no, concentrations of carbon dioxide. When the birds have reached harvest time, they are generally taken off of feed and water. This allows their digestive tracts to empty and reduces the potential for contamination during processing. At night, the birds are caught by specially trained crews and placed into plastic or wooden transport cages. The birds are then transported to the slaughterhouse where the trucks are often kept between sets of fans to ventilate the cages. In the next step, the birds are moved from the cages and transferred to continuously moving shackles where they are suspended by both legs and are usually stunned by running their heads through a water bath that conducts an electric current. Stunning produces unconsciousness, but it does not kill the birds. The birds are killed either by hand or a mechanical rotary knife that cuts the jugular veins and the carotid arteries at the neck. Any birds not killed by the machine or quickly killed by a person with a knife assigned to the bleed area. Following bleeding, the birds go through scalding tanks. These tanks contain hot water that softens the skin so that the feathers can be removed. The temperature of the water is carefully controlled. If retention of the yellow skin color is desired, a soft scald is used about 50 degrees centigrade or 122 degrees Fahrenheit. There are no federal laws governing the raising, transport, or slaughter of poultry in the United States. Although birds represent 99% of land animals slaughtered for food in the US, they are excluded from the Federal Humane Methods of Slaughter Act. Humane poultry slaughter bills sought to amend the 1957 Poultry Products Inspection Act to provide for the humane slaughter of poultry, similar to how the 1906 Meat Inspection Act was used as a basis for the coverage of cattle, sheep, swine, goats, horses, mules, and other equines. Under the 1958 Humane Methods of Slaughter Act, administered by the Food Safety and Inspection Service of USDA. According to the laws of 1906, meat that's going to be used entirely within a state may only be inspected by that state's Department of Agriculture. Meat entering interstate commerce must be federally inspected. In the 1960 Humane Methods of Slaughter Act requires that prior to slaughter, the animals be rendered completely unconscious with a minimum of excitement and discomfort by mechanical, electrical, or chemical, which includes carbon dioxide gas methods. Though no truly human system of slaughter can be devised, the current situation in the United States could be improved by redefining livestock in the Federal Humane Methods of Slaughter Act 1958 to include poultry, or by amending the 1957 Poultry Products Inspection Act to include a humane slaughter provision for poultry. The Farm Animal Welfare Council 1982 in the United Kingdom reviewed the welfare of poultry at the time of slaughter by inspection, slaughter plants, and hearing evidence from numerous witnesses. It should be emphasized that they did not carry out a scientific survey. They concluded that as many as 2/3 of all birds being slaughtered were not properly stunned. These birds were either killed outright or not rendered unconscious. The idea of carbon dioxide to immobilize chickens prior to slaughter is not new. But early research in the US did not lead to any commercial development. One of the big advantages of gaseous stunning is that birds could be stunned in their transport crates, eliminating the handling stress associated with uncrating and shacking. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. Poultry production is one of the fastest growing livestock industries as a result of its advantages in terms of land use and improvements in the food conversion rate of genetically superior poultry breeds. The stunning and slaughter process is a very important step in the processing of poultry and should be carefully controlled. Birds must be handled as little as possible up to the point of slaughter. The stunning and slaughtering practices methods with the main focus on broilers, but also taking other poultry species such as turkeys, ducks, and spent hens into consideration. If available information on minor species such as guinea fowl and quails will also be provided. The specific laboratory testing which is carried out by the official veterinarian and by the food business operator. Specific laboratory testing refers to microbiological testing and to chemical residue testing. That's all about the stunning and slaughtering of poultry. Thank you.
My co-author has very well explained to you about the stunning and slaughtering of poultry. Now, in the next module, you will be knowing about the primary processing of poultry as scalding, picking, and evisceration. Thank you.